Actually, this picture reminds me of the Oxford city. And the city looks like this. So I intentionally just put this picture here so that I can be reminded that, oh, Jun, you need to finish your PhD studies. Wherever I, run and operate my computer, and it worked. I'm done. Okay. Right. Do you have your Bible, a Hebrew Bible, PHS? You can turn it to Psalm 37. That's page 1118 and 19. But this is what I think share post on the Moodle. Wait a minute. Okay, so take out your assignment. Sorry. Sorry. All right. So let's start from verse 1. Okay. Let me. Can you see it? It's too small, right? Uh, this one. Include. Okay. So where is it? Psalm 37, verse 1. A. I'm gonna ask James. No. James, did you submit your assignment?
Not yet, sir.
Okay. Then let's move on to this Japanese scholar, Chikara.
Okay.
So please interpret these words and then let us know what is different. Okay.
Okay. So NONN, non, means some or several, and MSS means several medieval manuscripts of the Hebrew OT. And VRS, VRS means maybe version or translation, but I don't know. I'm
Yeah,
not
you're
sure.
right.
I'm not sure. Then, so the meaning would be in the several versions of the medieval manuscripts of the Hebrew OT, Vav is added, like
Mhm.
to Al. Vav is added to Al. So that's the meaning. So, and I made a chart, and BHS and MSS, I compare two of them.
Mhm.
And I think difficult reading is MSS and shorter reading is BHS, and widest geographical support maybe MSS, I
Mhm.
point. then in my opinion, it is just whether or not and so vav is included. Actually, for me, it is not so big deal, but I think adding vav makes a bit more understandable. Therefore, in my opinion, it is highly possible that the person who wrote it later added it.
All right, thank you. So here, look at this. Chapter 37, verse A, letter A. So it is originally written with a verb. So just simply al, right here. So this is the PHS reading. And Chikara called this one as MSS reading. But you can just call it variant reading, because sometimes this what is it, the new vocabulary or other Hebrew words appearing in this textual practice are supported by even different types of manuscripts and versions. So instead of calling it with this one specific name of manuscript or manuscripts, so you need to just say variant reading. So when you are doing the textual criticism to choose which one is most likely the original reading, that is normally, the comparison between EHS and variant reading. So you can title it as a variant reading, all right? But anyway, it's understandable. So the way Chikara understand this textual operatives is correct. So only the difference between them, especially between the PHS and the variant reading, supported by some manuscript and versions. But unfortunately, we don't know who they are and what they are. Okay, so PHS has no verb, and variant reading has verb. So the difference between them is a simple addition of the meaning and. But maybe if you want, you can just find out little further information or little important, even exegetical points. Although some of you may not agree, when you say just the al and al, it sounds like, don't, right? And if you say don't and don't, the meaning is still the same, but some of you may consider it as a significant addition to it. But in terms of meaning, actually, it doesn't change a lot. So, but anyway, so how do you think your choice is what, Chikara? Which one is most likely the original text? PHS or variant?
I think VHS is
PHS.
the original.
Okay. All right. I think I agree with you, because people tend to make it smoother later when they are copying. So when they are looking at this without verb, actually they wanted to make sure that, okay, don't do this and don't do this. So somehow that is a possible reason, but you don't need to agree with me all the time. But anyway, it's not really carrying any exegetical significance. But is there anyone who want to share your thoughts with us? Everything clear? Do you have any question? Then can you move on? Okay, then let's move on. Good job, Chikara. What is next? We are done with 1A. Did I give you 3A as your assignment? No? Okay. Let me quickly teach you how to do this. We are not really familiar with Greek yet. To be honest, my Greek knowledge is not as good as my Hebrew. So if I look at this, to be honest, I cannot really translate it, but you have this Hebrew word too. So this one is somehow similar, all right? So as you can see that we have a variant reading. So this one is a 3a. So let's go to 3a and you understand where is 3a. So we have emuna. Instead of the word choice of emuna, Septuagint choose epito proto autes, which in English, I mean in Hebrew, means ha-mona. Okay, so then in order for you to know what it means by epito, so in this case, you can just go to your, let me open my Bible Works and I'm going to teach you how to use this one. Anyway, because these things, okay, here. Okay, let's go to Psalm 33 and verse 3. And you know that I chose LXT, which is considered to be the Septuagint. So now you can see that dealing with this Old Testament passage, even you have a Greek. So if you are curious about the usage of the word epito, proto autes, then you can just go and see here, epito, pleuto autes is there. Can you see that? The last one. Then you just place your cursor and you can get analysis of the words. So sometimes when you are doing word study, it is also helping you to better understand the diversity of the words. Because when you try to understand, let's say, what do you mean by all these things? Actually, emuna is what? Firmness and steadfast and fidelity. And the last verb is pasture. So the literal translation should be pasture. What is this? Semu emuna, the steadfastness or faithfulness. So enjoy faithfulness is the translation of YLT. But according to Septuagint interpretation, it's a bit different. Because what do you mean by enjoy faithfulness? But actually, you are not supposed to say even pasture, right? I mean, enjoy. But the meaning of le'e is a la, which means pasture or tent. So the literal translation must be pasture, the steadfastness. Then you don't really understand. So you need to check the meaning of those words, utilizing all those lexicon on the right side, highlighted in purple. But as I said, Septuagint is an important version too, because it's quite old, right? So when the Jewish people, do you know why is it LXX? And sometimes, 70, something, because when the Greek, the Hebrew Bible was translated into Greek, there are about 70 scholars who are doing. So that's why it is called 70 something, okay? So it refers to the people working on it. So when those Hebrew people were translating, they just try to, interpret it as it is. So understanding the Hebrew words, they need to find the best interpretation. And then it is quite close to the old Hebrew manuscript. So that's why, a lot of Hebrew scholars pay a great deal of attention to the Septuagint translation. So in this case, you look at it and it says epi means over or on, and to means the, pleoto means wealth, riches, and himself, autes. So the word poimaino is the verb. So it means shepherd. So it says shepherd on the riches or wealth, and himself or herself is self. So that is the translation of Septuagint. Then what about hamona? And told you how can you find the meaning of hamona? Go to this section and then change this searching what is the basis of the Bible to WTT, which is the Hebrew Bible. So in order for you to change the searching base, you need just to type WTT, and then you can see that this one is changed to WTT. So now whatever you are searching here will be based on WTT. If you want to search for like the word love in KJV, then change this one to KJV. Then it will change to KJV. So this one is the basis of your searching. Can you see that? So like KJV, let's just search for the word love. Then how are we going to put love? So if you type the word love, then it will understand as if you are trying to change the searching Bible. Okay? So you need to start with period, and then put the English word love and enter. And on the left side, you will have all the Bible references where you can see the word love. Can you see that? In the same manner, change this one to WTT so that we can search for a Hebrew word and then start with a period. And you need to know what Hebrew keys are working here. So generally speaking, it follows the sounds of English. So if you're looking for the he sound, then you need to go for H. Then it will come with H. So generally, the English key sound works for Hebrew letters too. But sometimes you need to find other keys. So ha, and then M should be mem, and we have va is W, N is N, and na, he is he. So see, we don't need to include the vowel pointing here, just the consonant will be fine. And you can see that hamona here used 14 times. Click on it, enter. On the left side, you have hamona, passage. All right. So then let's go to hamona. Where are you? Hamona, and then place the cursor on it. Then it has hamona means sound, murmur, roar, crowd, or abundance. Can you see that? Abundance. So now hamona means abundance, but with third person feminine singular suffix. So the meaning is its abundance or her abundance. Can you see that? Right? So now you got the skill regarding how to use your Bible words. Now you understand what it means by hamona. And look at what is it? Let's go back. By the way, have you noticed that if you click on this, can you see it's very small? And this one is with V. Let me. No. Close. No. I didn't mean this. Here you see that V, and this one is with history. So you don't need to really change this SGL 712. Going to Psalm, and you don't need to relocate it. Go to this box, and you have history of the passage that you have been dealing with. So click Psalm 37. So I put it. So you need to erase everything, then make sure that you need to include it. So let's go back Psalm 37. Where are you? And we are dealing with verse 3. So here, you don't really have the record. So you need to click on the plus so that you can include it as a history. Then you have Psalm 37:3. And then click on everything that you want to deal with. And then the passage is changed to Ezekiel 32. Whenever you want to go back, what do you need to do? You just go and click on it, and then it will redirect you to the passage. So this is very simple, but it's very necessary, because when you change the passage, you always need to redirect the passage to the specific location by clicking it, the book, chapter, verses. It's really consuming your time. So it's worth doing to look at the tutorial video. Okay, but anyway, let's move on. It's very secondary information, I know, but very important for you to know how to deal with these Bible verbs. Okay, so 37, and then the last one is what? So wealth, riches, himself, herself, and itself. So we can see that this one at first person, feminine, singular. So now, even dealing with these Greek words, you know how to interpret it. So there is a similarity between this Septuagint and then the Hebrew words of Hamona. So according to their word choice, they prefer to use its abundance or its, riches. So the concept is not steadfastness, but the richness. Can you see that? That's what is supported by Septuagint. Now you can understand, the significance of dealing with this Septuagint, right? So when the Jewish scholars were interpreting this passage, so they need to sit down and think, what is the best Hebrew or Greek word to translate this emuna? And then they ended up choosing the word rich. So that's why NLT has a prosper. Okay, so they want to make sure that this one has something to do with abundance. Okay, so now it helps you, right, to expand the possibility of different types of translation. Okay, do you have any question? Let's move on. Then what is next? Have I given you 5A? No? Okay. What is next, Albert? C?
5B, sir.
5B? Yeah, I think if I gave a 5B. So, Phineas, can you? So 5B is here.
Yes, sir. For the textual apparatus, the meaning of that, several manuscripts al instead of al, the same pronunciation, but aleph and lamed instead of ain lamed. So the difference will be the translations BHS will be roll on, the on, and other variants will be instead of on, it'll be to, sir.
Okay. So what is your analysis of that readings, Perion readings and PHS? What is your support? We cannot hear you. Phineas?
Sorry, sir.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so for me, for BHS, because based on the table as we use, BHS has two supports, the widest, the geographical support and usual style. I think roll on is more smoother, and then the other variants, it has only for me like a more difficult reading. Yeah.
All
So
right.
it's more on BHS. Yeah.
All right. How what about others? How do you think? Do you agree with him? All right. Seems like you have no objection. But let me just deal with this one more time. I think it has something to do with the meaning of goal. And then you know that this one deals with another extra criticism issue. So if you look at 5a, it is supported by, one more time, Septuagint and Targum. Okay, so Targum is a Latin interpretation, and then it's heavily dependent on Septuagint, Greek. So Hebrew Bible was interpreted into Greek, and then Greek was interpreted into Latin. So it deals with the history, okay, of this ancient Near East. All right, you can just follow. That's why somehow there is a great similarity between them. But anyway, what do you mean by apokalupon? This one, you don't know the meaning, but it means gal in Hebrew. Once again, if you want to just focus on the meaning, then you need to go to your Bible works and then go to verse 5. And as you can see that the first one is call, and then the analysis of this verb is kalal, which means lower away. So it's visualizing the scene that you roll like stone, right? Roll away. So that is the PHS choice, and then that is imperative masculine singular. But if you look at this Septuagint, apokalunto is here, right? So now you know what it means by this Hebrew Greek word, and then it provides the analysis. The first of all, the meaning is to reveal. To reveal. Totally different meaning, isn't it? So the PHS means what? Roll away, and the Septuagint means what? Reveal. And what about then the Hebrew word of gal? Because they said it means gal. Then what do you need to do? You have to go to the part and then search for gal. So I got several gal here. And let me see which gal it is. So on the left side, you have the gal passage, and go there and then just make sure you understand the meaning. So gal means hip wave below. Here. And let's go to another passage. It's the same. Here we have galal. We have gala in PS stem. So gal can be gala, and in the PS stem, it means uncover, which means to reveal. Do you understand? Are you following me? So gal was used in the sense of revealing, uncovering. So now you understand how to use your Bible words, trying to understand the meaning of Greek words and Hebrew words. Okay? Some of you I've noticed that, you just did your assignment for textual criticism. And then I told you that it's important for you to understand what it means by this given information. And some of you just, wrote your understanding of those Latin words without interpreting what it means by those Hebrew words and even Greek words. Some of you did it, but you have to deal with the meaning of those word choice. Then what is the point of doing this? If you don't know what it means by God, and if you don't know what it means by apokalleoson, right? Understanding this NONN, MSS, VRS, but if you don't understand what it means by BL, you cannot understand what they are talking about. So you need to really make sure that you understand those Greek and Hebrew. So now I'm teaching you how to get the right information using your Bible words. Clear? So I hope from today onward, you will do better for the textual criticism assignment. Can you do that? Okay. Did you get something today? All right. Good. So then, what is your preference? You cannot really ignore the choice of this Septuagint. Hebrew, in the Hebrew mindset, it refers to roll away upon what? The Lord. What? Rolling what? Your way. So in Hebrew mindset, it is like commit, okay, or surrender your way to the Lord. Something like that. Roll away. What will happen after you roll something? It's no longer in your hands because you already roll away, right? So the concept of rolling something away has a lot to do with trusting God in Hebrew context. So you will see that roll away, okay, your anxiety, okay? It means, it has nothing to do with you. You no longer take care of it. It is into the hands of your master. But from the perspective of the Greek mind, then what are you going to say? Reveal your way to God. Let him know your way. So you can see a great exegetical difference here between them, right? Theologically speaking, it's quite different, isn't it? Quite interesting. Can you imagine? They understand that what is the Hebrew Bible very well, and they are translating, and they chose this interpretation. So then there must be a special reason for that. So you cannot really ignore this part. So I told you before, there is a tendency that this Old Testament study, when they are doing this, a lot of Old Testament scholars tends to depend on LXX. They really treated it tremendously and importantly. So if you understand those things, you will appreciate me. Because when you are moving further for your studies, you will realize that a lot of people really deal with this LXX, Septuagint. Okay? So as long as you understand what it is written here, then that's okay. Another thing in relation to this passage, actually you can see that we have a C. And what is the difference between this darekeka and then derakeka? It's the same word, only the difference between them is the yod between derek and 2m sg suffix. See, have you noticed that? So this one is supported by, what is this? What?
Targum.
Targum. And then PC, a few manuscripts. So many Hebrew manuscript plus Targum supports this. Then what is the difference between these two in terms of meaning? Samson, can you recognize the difference between them? So look at this. Dare ke ka. So if you put yod here, and what is the difference? It's the same, but it changes something.
Sir,
First of
is
all,
that,
sorry?
oh, sorry, go ahead, sir. I was just commenting on that one. It's gonna be like pronominal suffix types too, your way. So the intention of that reading will be commit your way.
All right. So BHS is commit your way, right?
Yes,
What
commit
about
your
the-
way, but the yod is missing from there. And also the vowel point under the first and second consonant is changing.
Yeah, so can you see any difference in terms of meaning then for variant reading? Now, then let's just go back to Bible Works. And you will appreciate what we can receive from this amazing tool. What do you want to do? Then let us just
sorry,
put
can I
the
interrupt?
yod between, sorry?
Sorry, I think the symbol like we just encountered means, you know, a reading of one of the several Hebrew manuscripts from the Cairo Geniza, not Targum. Can I please recheck again?
Let me see. It looks really confusing. We will go back to it. I think you are right, Amos. But let me just finish this one first and then go back to it. Right, this one means Fragmentum Codex Hebraica in Geniza, Cairo. So this one is, what is it? The collection of different, you know, fragmented manuscript, Hebrew manuscripts. So this is not Targum. It looks similar, but it's not Targum. And according to your English key, I think it is not include, oh, there, you have. So a reading of one of several Hebrew manuscripts from Cairo Geniza. So this one is Cairo Geniza. It's not Targum. Thank you, Amos, for drawing our attention to it. Yeah, Targum has T shape above this C, okay? But Cairo Geniza has, like, what is it? This type of, not really T, but the smoother, what shape? Gmail, but the other side, right? Left side to the right side. But anyway, you need to pay attention to it. But anyway, this is not Targum, but Hebrew manuscript called Cairo Geniza. All right, thank you for the correction. But anyway, let's go back to this and let's try to find the difference. Ka. So I put Derek and insert yod and ka. Let us go back to this specific passage and see what you can see. So it deals with the same one, but in terms of translation, where is it? Where are you? So as you can see that the KJV put thy ways. It's not singular, but plural. Can you see that? So by inserting the yod between ka, you can make it the noun plural. Do you remember type 1 and type 2? Right? So the function of type 2 was to make the noun plural. So now you cannot really say that it's just about the way of putting vowel points. It deals with a different meaning. Okay, in terms of a number. I'm really teaching you how to utilize these Bible words to better understand the difference between EHS reading and variant reading. Okay? Did you understand? All right. But of course, you need to remember this grammatical aspect. So when you find it's kind of a yod before pronominal suffix attached to a noun, and normally it changes the number to plural from singular. Okay? So just for your information, so you need to pay attention to this. Then what is the significance of the meaning? So BHA says, what is that? Roll away your way upon the Lord. But according to the choice of Cairo Geniza and a few manuscripts, but we don't know what they are in terms of a few manuscripts. But they chose your ways. All right. So it's not only one time, but your ways. All right. So probably it takes a theological significance in that way. All right. So just want to make sure that it's not one-time event, but should be plural. Every ways, your ways. Okay. It's quite interesting, isn't it? And but what do you like between them? What is most likely the original text?
I think Cairo Geniza is the original.
Do you think so? Why?
Because I think the intention of that yod is telling us the meaning. It's going to be a plural one. It's going to be not only one way, but it's going to be many ways.
Yeah, so I think in terms of a meaning, probably this variant reading makes more sense. That's why we better stay with BHS in terms of original text. So probably those manuscripts, a few manuscripts, and even when this Hebrew Bible was translated into the Greek, the people wanted to make sure that, okay, it makes better sense. That's why they somehow changed it. But, in terms of the original text, probably they simply just to use a singular form as a collective sense. So we can argue that. But Arbot, I don't want to say you are totally wrong. Even there is a possibility that, in the process of copying the Hebrew Bible, they probably just accidentally miss the yod. So in the original text, the yod was probably there, but in the process of copying, probably the scribes accidentally missed. That's possible too. So in order for you to do this, then what do you need to do? You need to also check the pattern. So let's just go to Bible Works and let us see if we can see derek ka without yod. If you can find it in the same passage of Psalm, then you can just support it as a, regular pattern, and then the style. Let me put here and see if we can find, start with period, let, still confusing. Let, supposed to be D, right? D, R, K, K. So we have 20 times. Darekeka. So as you can see, it's a Genesis, and then even we have Psalm passage. How many times in Psalm? It's all darekeka without the yod. And even 37:5, it's the same passage. So surrender your way, and let's look at Psalm 5 and 9. So this one is directly ka, and then it's a singular. So me your way. Make straight before me your way. Okay, and then Psalm 27 verse 11, the translation, teach me your way. So it refers to the way God wants. And let's go to Psalm 67 verse 3, and this one, the translation is for the knowledge in us of your way, right? The nation of, it all refers to God's way, not our human way. It's God's way. Psalm 77 verse 14, it deals with, oh God, in holiness is your way. So when Psalm is using the word your way, it all refers to God's way and God's will. But in Psalm, let's just finish Psalm 77 verse 20, it says, in the sea is your way, and your paths are in many waters. And so it refers to God's way too. Psalm 86 verse 11 deals with, show me, O Jehovah, your way. So now, whenever the words derekeka, that yod, singular your way, normally refers to what? God's way. So now, then let's just come back to 37 verse 5. Then what Albert is believing makes a little more sense in terms of what is it? Pattern and style. So when it comes to the singular derekeka, your way, it tends to refer to God's way. Okay, so in that sense, we can support the variant reading. That's why the Jewish people needed to put yod there when they are interpreting. So in terms of the style, then we can give one more support to the variant reading. Okay, so now do you learn how to utilize these Bible works? Okay, and then now you can somehow begin to see the importance of looking at the style, writing style, composition style. Okay, you can do it too. Okay, then let's move on. Where are we? So we are done with this 5, verse 5. Let's move on to next one. 6a. 6a. Stephen, can you do this?
Yes, sure. So, Ganja,
Kairogenza.
Cairo Ganja, and many medieval manuscript in Hebrew, instead of using the word Vami Shah Pavak, your righteousness, is used Vami Shipa too small for me.
So what is the difference in terms of the appearance?
So it's the same with 5 C's. I think it's the variant reading is the plural ones.
Exactly. So you understood what we are talking about just before this, right? So between the difference between this VHS and the variant reading, you can see that what do you mean by this line? This one means it follows the given words. Instead of repeating, you just choose to, use this sign. So from tet, so here is tet, and then should be kaf. So tet and kaf, VHS. But variant reading choose tet, yod, kaf. So only the difference between them is the yod, the presence of yod. So we have discussed this. So in fact, what is it? Kaf is second masculine singular suffix, which means your. But what is the significance of the presence of yod? What is it? It is making the preceding noun plural. So when you say this one, what is it? Mishpatet ka. PHS means what, Stephen?
Your righteousness.
Your righteousness. Okay. And PHS, Novelian reading says then?
Your righteousness is
Your righteousnesses. So
Yeah.
plural form.
plural form. Yeah.
Okay. So the idea is that it's not singular but plural. So it is supported by Cairo Ganiza and MLT many manuscripts.
Yeah, manuscript. So it's just if many scripts, so it will have the wider geographical support, or BHS have more. So I'm not sure about this. So.
Normally, once again, it's very limited information provided by this textual purpose. But whenever you see many manuscripts, and normally it's more than 20 manuscripts. Okay, so definitely you will go for this variant reading, especially when it comes to the widest geographical support, since we have many Hebrew manuscripts. So I need to say that this plural form is more supported by many manuscripts, but it's just the one aspect among those analysis table, right? So what is your analysis, Stephen?
So for me, I give BHS the older reading, shorter reading, and for now, I just add now like no doctrinal bias. So it have 3 points, and the medial script have 1 point for widest geographical support. So I prefer BHS upon the variant reading.
All right. What about others? How do you think? Kanae, any objection? No? It's very simple. Then you don't need to say anything. What about others? Please feel free to share. Do you agree? Okay, but unfortunately, we don't know which Hebrew manuscripts are supporting this variant reading. That's why, it's not really meaningful for us to even evaluate it in terms of all the reading without knowing what they are, right? So that's why, even though we are dealing with this actual criticism issue and trying to know which one is most likely original text, it's very limited information. But you are not really required to know which one should be the original one. If you want to deal with this specificity, then you will definitely go deeper. And you need to check which Hebrew manuscripts are supporting this variant reading, and then which one is most likely original text. But why do you need to do this? By dealing with this, you will understand the issue, and then you can understand how to interact with other material. That is the most important thing. So when you are reading some commentators' interpretation or their work, you will be able to understand what they are talking about. But before dealing with this kind of issue, it's so much hard for you to understand. So I just share with you the list of best commentaries. You look at it, then normally, the commentators' work consists of several parts. They normally start with the analysis of the Hebrew text. So they put their English translation based on their own translation of Hebrew. So sometimes you will see that their own interpretation, English translation, is different from, this YLT or KJV, because they have their own preference. So then you will understand, okay, this Hebrew scholar prefer to use this expression here, and then they normally put A or B or C signs there, and then they explain this textual criticism issue. Then if you look at it, then you will understand, okay. So these Hebrew scholars giving us their own interpretation and explanation on the issue of textual criticism, dealing with the specific passage, for example, Psalm 37, verse 7 and A. Okay, you will understand what I'm saying. But not all Hebrew commentators do this, but most of commentators doing this. So when it comes to WB's World Biblical Commentary, which is broadly and quite often considered as a quite reliable commentary, but it depends on the author actually. So you may ask, which commentary is most reliable one? Then somebody may say WBC, or somebody may say New International Dictionary of Old Testament, or Anchor Bible Dictionary, or NIV. But there is no such, name that you can say as the normative one, because the Genesis is composed by even others. So you will follow the reputation of each commentator. But generally speaking, I want to say WBC is really good series in terms of maybe evangelical biblical studies. It's quite conservative and very evangelical perspective. And I want to say Anchor Bible is quite liberal. He provides quite advanced academic information, sometimes very liberal. And New International Dictionary is so good, somehow in between this conservative and liberal side. But you need to really know which scholar has great reputation in the specific area of the Old Testament study. Okay, so anyway, if you begin to see what to do with this biblical study, then I'm really happy, because you need to definitely deal with all those information later for your further studies. Well, unfortunately, we don't have time to deal with this commentator's work, but you have to do it after finishing your own study and consult the works of other commentators, so that you will see, okay, I was blinded in this area, and my interpretation or my analysis was not really good. So you need to compare your work with other commentators, okay? All right, let's move on. So that's it. And 9A, right? Sharon, can you try? I seldom ask you.
Yeah.
How do you think? Can you try?
No, sir.
All right, let's just try. What do you mean by FRT?
FYT mean FYT mean perhaps.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
DL means
Delete.
delete. M means
MCS means on account of the meter.
So actually, you are not supposed to put M, S, C together. So M stands alone, SC stands alone.
아,
So what do you mean by M?
M?
Yeah,
미터?
no.
아,
What is it? Chicken crown? Rooster? Okay, go ahead. So then let's go to CS. So CS means on account of. So you're right. But what do you mean by M then?
M이 뭐지? M.
M stands for masculine. Masculine. Oh, okay. So MCS is there together. So you're right. Then it's on account of the meter. On account of meter. So CS anyway means on account, and M stands for the meter. So anyway, so what do you mean? Perhaps on account of a meter here,
Yeah.
it is deleted. So it is a suggestion. So interestingly, we cannot see any specific name of manuscripts and version. Okay? So what do you mean by this? So as you can see, this texture apparatus was made by majority scholars. So according to their understanding, this 9a is supposed to be deleted.
Okay.
So this word hemma is not supposed to be here originally as a suggestion. So what is the meaning of this?
They.
So you can see that this one affects our interpretation from here. So this one is the plural. Yarash, they will possess the land. So with Hemma, the translation will be, they will surely possess the land. Right?
아, 예.
So majority scholars suggested that this Hemma is not supposed to be there. That's it. Perhaps, that's why they said perhaps. Okay, let's move on. Can you see 13a? 13a. It is PC, MSS, and this one is BA. So actually it's not BA, but it's but anyway, BA, right? So Bet, Kamet, Alep. Okay, so 13a, where are you? 13a. Here we have Ya, Bo, but instead of Ya, Bo with the prefix pronoun, a few manuscripts just go by Bo without the yo. Can you see it? Then the question is, now you know how to interpret Ya, Bo. So what is the translation? Yom Bo means what? His day. Because his day will come. This is what is written in BHS, right? Are you following me? Okay. This yod is a prefix form. So incomplete action. So should be in the future tense. So the day, okay, his day will come, right? And what is the meaning of ba here? What is your analysis of ba? Jim.
Sir.
What is it? Ba. It's the same word, bo, but what is your analysis of this verb? When you have ba,
Is it enter,
sorry?
come, enter,
Right.
enter,
So
come.
let's just, what about stem, form? Can you analyze it? Ba. Is it Kyle? Jim, how do you think? You are muted.
So it's, we're studying, right?
Sorry?
We're
Verse
studying.
13a. So this one is bet, kamet, aleph. Sorry, it's cut. Look at your verb chart. Go to hollow verb. And when do you have ba there?
This is 3 MSG
Yeah, 3 MSG
Affix.
of what?
affix.
Affix? Kai?
Call,
Is that all?
call, sir.
Right. In terms of a form, you said 3 MSG affix form. But
Yes, sir.
can you see another possibility for ba? What about participle MSG? It's same. So you have two possibilities in terms of the form. The first one is 3 MSG affix form, and at the same time, participle form. Okay?
Yes, sir.
So then it affects our exegetical interpretation, isn't it? Because if you choose this one, PHS, then it refers to an incomplete action as a future. So like, his day will come. Don't fret. Do not be jealous of the evildoers. Why? Because their day will come. Are you following me? So this is PHS. It's not complete action, incomplete. The day is not yet come, right? But here, if you understand this one as a 3 MSG affix form, then the interpretation will be what? Already came. Their day already came. What about the participle form? It emphasizes an ongoing continuous action. So probably the translation is their day is coming. It's amazing, isn't it? And it definitely affects our understanding. And then it's very, theological. So I think when this ba is suggested by a few manuscripts, they didn't refer to 3 MSG affix form, but they probably use this ba as participle form. Okay, so then what is your translation? So a few manuscripts choose that their day is coming. Now it's coming. Okay, it's not, the sense that it will come, but highlighting the fact that it is coming right now. So hey, just hold on and be still. Don't fret. Their end is now coming. So in terms of the theological, significance, I would prefer this variant reading over PHS in terms of theology, but it has nothing to do with our choice, actually. We cannot be simply dependent on this theological meaning. So what is your preference in terms of this textual criticism analysis? What is most likely the original? Jim?
BHS, the one chosen by BHS.
So BHS.
Yes, sir.
Okay, why do you think so?
Because of the earlier script.
Uh-huh.
This is
And
medieval manuscript, and I think this one goes beyond that.
Uh-huh.
And then one,
Very a few manuscripts supports this participle form, isn't it? That means other many manuscripts, medieval manuscripts support BHS. So without having a concrete and very reasonable support, you better stay with PHS. All right. But anyway, if you think, okay, but this is still significant because in terms of shorter reading, okay, and then what else? Nothing else. Anyway, so then I want to go for the variant reading. You can do that. But I think, Jim, you're right. We need to stay with BHS.
also that makes sense because NKJV uses the word coming.
Okay. And probably
I mean,
you can say that this
probably-
one is theologically biased at the same time.
How is it, sir? Because one is just one word and there is no theology behind that. One is continuously happening and another one is like just saying if it's something like day of the Lord or something like that, then that might have difference, right?
So yeah, probably if, as I said, it's theologically making significant impact. If you're saying their day is already coming, it's already started, but not yet. Okay, that concept is there. So in the sense, probably it's theologically biased interpretation, variant reading. Okay, they just wanted to highlight that the immediate effect of having this day of judgment. But it's not really perfect yet though. But anyway, in the sense, the BHS is less theologically biased. Then in the case, we can support BHS. Is that clear? All right, let's move on.
I'm a little confused.
Okay.
According to this particular specific verse, it's translated, "The Lord laughed at him, for he sees his day is coming." For me, in my understanding, that I don't know which one is referring to this one. Is it referred to the Lord or referred to him? If we're going to say that Ba is came, so the translation would be, "For he came." So for me, in my analysis of this one, "For he came in his time," that refers to the Lord, not him.
So what do you mean by then his day there? The last one, Yomo.
Time.
So his time.
Yes. For me, I can say, I can only assume that the Lord already existed and the second coming will be up to him.
So then you think the day which is coming is not the judgment of his day, the end of his day, but you are saying that it is referring to the second coming of Jesus Christ?
What I mean, the Lord is already existed. That would be the point number one.
Okay.
And the number two, the second coming of Jesus, it's up to him. Not that it's not for me. It's not referred to the day, but it's referred to the time, because the word Yom, it means day or time. So for me, in my understanding, and sorry, for me and my understanding about this one referred to the Lord, not to them.
Quite interesting. Although I don't agree with you, I like your approach, and I really enjoy seeing you becoming this serious Hebrew scholar. Go for it. Why not? If you can present a concrete evidence for that, I think people will really appreciate it. But you need to also definitely pay attention to the context. Because if you pay attention to what is really discussed here, the people of God tends to be, mumbling, complaining, and they don't understand why. Why? Because, the life of evildoers are so prosperous. They have no problem. So from the perspective of psalmists, they are saying that, hey, it's okay. Do not be jealous. Do not fret yourself, but be still and delight yourself in the Lord. Why? Because their life will be the greenness of plants that will wither soon. Their prosperous life will wither and end soon. So that is the concept, all right? The advice from the psalmist. So in light of this, probably it's the same. The Lord has leapt at him. What do you mean by him? The evildoer. So what will be following them? When the Lord is leaping at their life, what will be following? In that sense, because, so now you can see that the Lord is marking at the life of evildoer, because, so you can see that there is a close relationship between these two. Do you understand what I'm saying? So in light of this, then it says, their prosperous life will end soon. In that sense, it makes better sense. Okay, so my understanding is like this, but I'm saying that you are not really totally wrong. Okay, you can argue for that. That's why I love Hebrew, because there is a great flexibility, and people will like it. If you just withdraw, I'm encouraging you to make sure that your idea, it's not simply your own interpretation. It should be supported by some evidence, grammatical, historical, and then the syntactical. Okay, so if you have a strong evidence, then people will say, Albert is amazing. He is a Hebrew scholar. I want to learn from him. Okay, whatever.
Sir, I'm not amazing. I just assume.
It's okay. Yeah, but this curiosity is a good start all the time. Instead of relying on the given meaning, you always need to ask for other possibility. That is the most important attitude to become a Hebrew scholar. Okay? Do not rely on the given information. Doubt everything. When you analyze the verbs, when you translate the given text, doubt everything and think about other possibilities. This will lead you to a greater work. All right, but may God continue to work in you, inspire you, and I will enjoy your post someday, okay? Just to share with me your findings.
Thank you, Dr. Jungu.
All right, great. We have about 16 minutes to go. You know what? I'm really enjoying this class right now because I can see that your level of Hebrew knowledge is that advanced right now to discuss all those issues. Isn't it amazing? Although our knowledge is quite limited, as I'm teaching you as a Hebrew teacher, my knowledge is limited too. Again, you need to know that I'm not really into this biblical study. In terms of my doctorate study, I studied historical theology. So my area has been more historical approach and theological approach. So in that sense, my knowledge is also limited. But you know what? When I study by myself for a specific passage like this, if I go for the syntactical analysis and the textual criticism and syntax issues, even Dr. K. Fountain can hardly tackle me. Because as an even Old Testament scholar, it's impossible for them to understand everything. But what makes you professional is your self-study. That's why I'm quite excited about helping you to become the researcher instead of giving you the information. Do you understand? Because and you need to understand, this is a great realization that I got after my PhD study. PhD study is not giving you the information, because the information is just nothing and it changes and you will have new information. So do not, dedicate yourself too much to the information itself. And then we value information, and you admire teachers who know a lot of things. They deserve it. But I want to tell you, that's something that you can get from internet. Whenever you needed information, Google it, find it. Information is what you can find whenever you want. But what is important? You need to be a serious researcher who can produce the information. That is what matters. Okay? So as long as you know what kind of tools to use and what kind of books you have to consult, how to understand those given information, I'm giving you the lesson on how to use the tool. Do not enjoy the food someone cooked for you. You need to start enjoying cooking. The food that will be given to your church members, even other scholars. Enjoy it, okay? All right, let's move on. 14A, Amos.
Hello, yeah, hello. 14A. So the textual apparatus says that entire phrase, which is lahapil ani v'evyong lit boach ish re derek. That entire phrase is supposed to be in a gloss, which means I mean, I understand that is, like this, the clause I just read is in a gloss or a kind of like commentary or explanation of what is previously appearing in the same verse. So that is the other variant reading. So
Okay.
that is what it means. And so BHS has the clause as I read together with the other part entire verse, but the other reading takes the clause that I read and put that in the gloss. Yeah.
Okay. So right. Can you just give us a little further explanation about gloss? I think you got it right. So the word gloss is a bit hard for us to understand. What do you mean by gloss?
Gloss, you can say explanation or
yes.
Yeah. So that the entire thing, perhaps I think perhaps putting a marginal note or like footnote or whatever to explain what is, like
Right.
what is
Okay.
like, yeah.
So Amos, you did a good job. You are a good student, I know. So actually, let's just translate this one, not in words. FRT just appeared. The meaning is what? Perhaps.
Perhaps, yeah.
And then GL means gloss.
Gloss,
which
yeah.
in English means explanation or commentator's explanation. So unfortunately, we don't see which manuscripts or versions are supporting this. So what I can say here is it is a recommendation of a majority scholar saying this anti-praise blocked by A is meant to be an additional explanation. So let's look at it. So where is the A? So this A praises is considered to be an extra further explanation. What is that meaning of verse 14? Starting from verse 14, let's just go to verse 14 and let's look at it. I will just read it. A sword have the wicked open, and they have trodden their bow. So up to here is what this is what is going on before A section, and then A starts with this: to cause to fall the poor and needy, to slaughter the upright of the way. So now you can see that, okay, the main idea is a sword have the wick open and they have trodden their bow is the main idea. And then to cause is kind of a further explanation. Okay, from the perspective of the majority scholars, they're saying this one is probably an additional explanation. They are suggesting, that's why they start with perhaps. Perhaps. Okay, why is that a sword have the word weapon open? They have trodden their bow. Why? To cause the foe, the poor, and the needy, to slaughter the upright of the way. That's the idea. Can you see that? You did a good job. So in this case, then perhaps your judgment has something to do with what is it? The difference between BHS and the suggestion of majority scholars. But to me, we need to stay with the BHS. You cannot see any support of manuscripts and versions in terms of finding the original text. But anyway, that's it. Let's move on. B, 14B. I want to ask Kanae.
Yes.
Can you interpret the Latin words first?
It's saying that some or several script follows live, like they use live instead of the direct.
So now, NONN means what?
Some, several.
Okay, several, and then MSS.
One or several medieval manuscripts of the Hebrew.
It's a manuscript. So MS is a single manuscript. MSS means plural manuscripts. So a few or some, several manuscripts, including this version of Septuagint, chose lab, which means what? Lab means what? Can I?
Heart, mind,
Heart. So let's go to 14B. Where are you? 14B. So 14B is here. So actually it is direct, which means way, right? Way. But instead of the word choice of way, some manuscripts and Septuagint choose heart. Okay? So what is the meaning of this? Ire. So let's go to verse 14 and let's take a look at it. So this one is Yashar, which means straight and right. So you can see that this one refers to people. So those who are right of the way. So YLT, the upright of the way. They choose the upright of the way. That is the BHS. Then if you consider those variant reading, the translation will be the upright of a heart. Okay? Not the way. So what is the exegetical significance? That deals with the difference between erek and heart. So when you're talking about tendency of upright, okay, then what is it? Some medieval manuscripts saying you are upright in your heart. Okay, but BHS saying you are upright in your way, the way you live. All right, so that's it. So according to your analysis, Kanae, what do you prefer?
I chose to stay in BHS.
What is that? Why do you want to support BHS? Based on what?
Because I was the one reason I chose is it's older reading.
Mm-hmm.
Then also I was looking for how many times direct was used or left was used, but in this like in Psalm 37,
Uh-huh.
when I look at it, direct
Uh-huh.
is more often used. So
All right.
I thought in this context, it's better to stay in
You did a
direct.
good job. Yeah, I like the last part. Yeah, you need to do this kind of study to see that user style, right? So you did it, the word research, and in terms of style, you could come up with a good result. And go ahead.
But I was not sure about the different usage of live and direct because
Mhm.
I was thinking if someone's mind is really correct, they will do that things.
Mhm.
But when they said it's their way is correct, it's like they're already doing. So I was not sure about doctrinal bias or not. So I couldn't pick both sides.
Yeah, it makes sense. You did a good job. I like your analysis. But anyway, without any concrete support, I think we always need to stay with BHS. That's my philosophy. Okay. So, but anyway, it doesn't make a lot of you know exegetical interpretation. But anyway, it refers to what is going on in the life of the righteous, right? So that's the point. But anyway, as long as you understand what is written here, what is discussed here, then that's what really matters. Let's move on to the last one, and then we will be done. Let me see if we have something important here. Any suggestion that you want to deal with as the last one? Nothing? Everything was okay? Okay. Actually, HIER. Did you get what it means by HIER? Actually, it's not Latin. What is it? Words referring to some words, but actually, this one is one of the names of version or manuscript. Did you find it? HIER. It doesn't appear as for the list of manuscript and versions in HIER. Okay, could you go there? It's not there. So then the question is, what is this? Then you go to your BHS. And it provides, in the beginning, provides much more information about manuscript and version. That's how you could get some idea about those things. Which page? Yeah, page XLIX.
Professor, I'm just guessing.
Uh-huh.
I think this is Jerome, right? Jerome.
Right, you are right. So that's Eusebius Jerome. So
because his Latin name is Hieronymus.
right.
Yeah.
You did a good job.
Yeah.
So, but if you look at your BHS, it provides the word, the full name, and on page XLIX. So there, HIER means HIERONY. So Hieronymus. Okay. So if you Google Hieronymus, then as mentioned by Amos, it is the Latin name of Eusebius Jerome. So actually, Eusebius Jerome interpreted the Hebrew Bible into Greek. So you will see that this is referring to Jerome's Bible. Okay? What do you mean by SG, by the way? So
Singular.
actually, you can see that 16a is where? 16a. This one is Rabim. BH is choosing a plural form of Rabim. All right? But the Berean reading, including Septuagint, Syriac, and Jerome's Bible supporting singular form of love. That's it. Okay? That's it. So I gave you the explanation about HIER. So now you are learning one more skill. If you cannot find what it means by written words here, then you need to see what is written in your BHS Bible, especially in the beginning. Okay? So then you will get some idea. But everything is written in Latin here. So then you need to also interpret it into English. Then Google it, and it will help you to find the English meaning. Okay? So that's how you can do yourself. Romero?
Yes, sir. Yes, I am just confused because here in the textbook it is also written in Salmis. Hieronymus in Salmis.
What is it? You mean, what is your question? You're asking me about the SG?
The higher, sir, the HIER.
Uh-huh. HIER means Jerome's Bible, Eusebius.
But sir, here in the XLIX, it is also written in Salmis.
Where, what are you talking about? HIER?
Yes, sir. In Salmis, it is written here.
What are you looking at right now?
The English keyword for higher.
So where did you get it?
XLIX. I will screenshot, sir, and I will send to you, sir.
X? Yeah, it will be most helpful if you can show me.
Okay.
I will make you as a co-host. Did you send it? Can you share your screen? I don't know where you could find it.
I sent to your messenger, sir.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm using this Huawei, but yeah, I don't have it.
Okay. Let's see. It's coming. Is this English key? No, you got this one from your BHS. Right? Yes. But anyway, yeah. That's what I refer to. So HIER here it refers to what? Hieronymus, which is the Latin name of Jerome. And in Salmis, then you need to check what it means by Salmis. I think, but it has something to do with Psalm. So now you are dealing with this the Psalm, and then It has something to do with Jerome's Bible, dealing with the Psalm. Okay?
Okay, sir.
So what
Thank you for the
really
clarification.
important here is HIER refers to Jerome's Bible. That's it. Since you cannot find it, then how can you get the information, necessary information? This is what you need to do. So that I'm just giving you an explanation on how to use it. Okay, so we are, thank you. We are done today, and I hope you could understand how to utilize your Bible work and how to do the textual criticism. Do you understand? Okay, so do not simply interpret the Latin words, and you need to show me the difference between BHS reading and the Berean reading in terms of the Hebrew. Okay, so as we can say that NONN means some, MSS means manuscript. So what? Without understanding what it means by lab and then the difference between them, you cannot really say anything. So what I'm really expecting from you is this: when you are doing your textual criticism, you need to show me the difference, the different meaning between PHS and the Berean reading, together with the Latin words. Is that clear? All right. But when it comes to the analysis of which one must be or most likely the original text, I will respect your analysis, since we are quite limited to the knowledge, the information. Is that clear? Do you have any question today? No? All right. So this is the last class for the textual criticism. So I think we have 2 more classes, but to be honest, I don't know what to do. Let me ask you this question. We have covered several things. That what is your request? I want to just focus on some lessons that seem to be quite hard to understand. So we have textual criticism, we have syntax, we have syntactical analysis, and the verb analysis. What do you want?
What's your question again, Doctor?
We have 2 more lessons before your presentation. So I want to help you to review, okay, among the lessons that we have covered. So I want to say we have discussed, the general analysis of verbs and words in a certain passage. I think this is what you can do, depending on or relying on the help of Bible works. So talking about 3 areas: syntactical analysis, diagramming, and then syntax, which deals with the issues of some advanced grammatical aspect written in the textbook of Jessenius and Walt O'Connor. Do you remember? Okay. And the other one is textual criticism. So what do you want to deal with for the last 2 more sessions? What is most helpful for you to do? So now the question is, do you understand what to do with this textual criticism? Is that clear? Okay, what about then syntax? Let's spend just a little bit more time for syntax and textual criticism. So I'm going to choose one passage, but it's not going to be your assignment. So just to come hungry for the much more knowledge, right? And just learn something. Is that fair then? All right. So for the last 2 more lessons, I will choose one passage to discuss textual criticism and syntax. So I'm going to see you on Thursday. So be ready for your translation quiz. God bless you.
Dr. Jun Kim?
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. God bless.
Maybe I mistaken. Do we have